Did Paul convert? Hi, I'm Michael Barber. I'm professor of biblical studies and theology here at the Augustine Institute Graduate School. We're located in St. Louis, Missouri. And over the weekend, the church celebrated the feast known as the conversion of St. Paul. Since it was a Sunday, since the feast fell on a Sunday, the feast was sort of hidden because it gets overridden by the Sunday readings and the Sunday celebration. That usually happens. The Sunday celebration usually overrides the feasts. Nonetheless, I think it's still important to discuss the meaning of this feast because it really gets misunderstood a lot of the time. For many Christians, the feast marks the turning of Paul from one religion, Judaism, to another, that is Christianity, as if Paul stops being a Jew. Of course, that's a problem since in Paul's day, those who had faith in Jesus would have been viewed as belonging to a sect within the Jewish world. Indeed, the book of Acts tells us that people spoke of the early followers of Jesus as a sect, using the same term that's used for other Jewish groups like the Pharisees and the Sadducees. So this doesn't mean that Paul's encounter with the risen Lord didn't affect a major change in his life and a major transformation of his thinking. It was a true conversion in the sense of a turning. Paul turns to the Lord Jesus. In fact, Paul uses this language of turning in 2 Corinthians. So I think it would be wrong to not use that kind of language for Paul. We just would have to recognize that it would be inaccurate to say Paul thought he was somehow turning away from his Jewish identity. In fact, Paul continues to identify himself as a Jew in his letters, as an Israelite. And so official Catholic sources, therefore, don't use the language of a conversion from Judaism to describe the feast of the conversion of St. Paul. Please follow, subscribe, like, comment, and if you would, share this video. And if you do those things, it'll let the algorithm know you want to see more videos from me, and you'll be sure not to miss more content from me. Thank you so much for watching.